What's going on, everybody? Once again, another episode of the FitBod Blueprint with Coach Phil and Coach Tyler. How you doing today, brother?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Getting ready for 3 to 6 inches of snow for tomorrow, so that ought to be nice and fun. I'm hoping that the totes that I've got, the lids can be used to find a nice sledding hill.
Yeah.
Because I went to the hardware store today, they were out of ice melt. They had just sold out of the sleds, and I've never
Of
been
course.
sledding in my life, so.
Really?
I will,
Okay.
yeah, Florida boy. So
Yes. Is this like your first snow experience or
number
yes,
three.
but no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's number three. So I experienced snow for the first time in high school whenever I went to Washington D.C.
It's wild.
And then again about 2 years ago in New Jersey. So yeah, this
That's
is
pretty crazy. That's it from someone who grew up or in the Pacific Northwest where it's just a norm, a couple times a year where you'll get separate snowstorms. So, wow. All right. Good
yeah,
luck.
yeah. I got the bread and the milk.
You're good to go.
What about you, man? How's the week been treating you?
Week's been good. Post holidays, getting back into the normal routine and rhythm of life, which was nice. Holidays, I mean, it was good, exhausting, and busy. So it's good to get back to normal.
Oh, 100%, man.
Yeah.
That was my week this week. Just get back into the usual groove of my normal training schedule. Like last week was a bit of a deload slash ramp myself up for a new training program.
Nice.
I have not programmed myself for Bulgarian split squats in probably a year. And today I am singing in
Yes.
terms of muscle soreness.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah. It's been good.
that can be such a challenge for a lot of people is just simply getting things started and getting into either old routines, but especially for getting into a new routine. And we're here at the beginning of the year, and there's always a fresh feeling of newness, right? Like, hey, it's a fresh start, new year, new me. And I know half the people listening are rolling their eyes and going, what a cliche, but other people are going, I hope this is the year that I finally hit some of my goals, and especially fitness goals. Because if fitness goals were easy, I mean, everybody would be walking around jacked, tan, and juicy looking, right?
We wouldn't have a job.
So
That was always the joke about spot reducing, right? Whereas like, hey, if I train a certain part, I'll lose body fat from that. A teacher when I was in university would be like, if that would be true, everyone would be walking around with a six pack and fat biceps. Because like
yeah,
everyone just
right,
they'd always train abs and then just lose body fat from their abs.
right, 100%. As long as I got a lean torso, I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy. But
Yep.
with the new year, with a lot of people, it might be the first time that they're kind of getting started back. And we were talking, and today's podcast, we're going over $1,000 giveaway that we're doing. So really excited about Tyler joining the FitBod fam and what we're doing for 2025 to kickstart things. And Tyler, I love that you're doing this, man, is giving away a full 6-month scholarship to be coached by Tyler. And we'll also be giving away some partial scholarships. Now, we do this because ultimately we're in this to help people, to make a positive impact in the lives of others. For me, that is the number one job of a coach is how can I help you? How can I make you better? How can I grow you and leave you better than where I found? And I know that's something that you also echo in that sentiment.
Yeah, man. When I kind of first got into coaching, it was kind of like, and I think this still holds true. I would do this for free if I didn't need money, right? Like,
Yeah, if
it,
we were in a
it
Star
really,
Trek utopian society where there wasn't currency,
yeah, exactly. A good socialist economy. Anyways,
first time those words have been paired
yeah,
together in history.
yeah, maybe we should bleep that one out. No, but honestly, yeah, it really is for me wanting to see people improve. Like so much of this is changing someone's life, right? And really putting them on a path to get them to where they want to go. I think everyone in their mind always has like a physique of like what they wish they could look like, right? I mean, I know I've certainly had that in the past. Like we all like, oh, if I could just look like this, right? And so, you know, it's really about pulling that out of someone, right? And it's so exciting to watch them go through this process and get there. And so, you know, this is just really an opportunity to do that and to give it away, right? It's, you know, it's like a Christmas present in a sense, right? Where it's like, hey, like I'm looking to give this away to someone to maybe just finally really realize like, hey, I can do this. Like I can take this step and start moving in that direction.
And it's crazy how whenever you spend time, whenever you finally take the time to focus on your health, to focus on improving it, that other things in your life will improve as well. So we applied the FitBod Blueprint is the system that we call it for the majority of our clients. Now, everything is ultimately tweaked and tailored because there are multiple different ways that you can break down someone's training program. You know, somebody might be better off to start with 2 days a week, or somebody, their schedule might be crazy and 3 days a week is just what's best. And you might have somebody that goes, man, I've got childcare taken care of. I got super flexible work schedule. I've got time, baby. I can make 5 days a week work. But whenever we think about the principles of the FitBod Blueprint, we want to make things practical, but we do that by creating the right systems for the individual. So we've been going over in our Facebook group the book Atomic Habits, and they start talking, you know, James Clear, the author, talks about creating systems rather than just focusing on outcomes. And that's ultimately what the FitBod Blueprint does, is it helps to find the right systems for you for your day-to-day life. And we work with a lot of parents here, people that know what it's like to truly have a busy schedule. Because I know I thought at 22, 23 years old, I thought I had a busy schedule. And now at 35 with 2 kids, 2 dogs, I laugh.
I know.
Brother, you would not trade places with 35-year-old Phil for anything. You would swap back inside of an hour.
Oh.
But it's a matter of learning what are those systems to be able to manage your kid's sports schedule. You need to learn a system for how are you getting in your workouts? Where are you improving on your nutrition habits? Because to quote the old Checkers commercials, you got to eat, right? So we find what's the right system for you. That now dieting doesn't feel like it's this big, huge mountain. It doesn't feel like you're about to go 10 rounds with, pick who you want to pick, either Jake Paul or Mike Tyson. But you don't feel like you're about to go 10 rounds with the champ. Instead, you go into every day knowing this is just who I am, this is what I do, and I do it with ease. Because at first it is going to be a challenge, but eventually you're going to keep doing it. That's the key, is find the system that you can stick with. And we're going to implement principles from the FitBod Blueprint of find your movement patterns, find the ones that feel good, find the ones that you're able to recover from, but they're challenging. They're appropriately challenging. Where do we need to be at for overall activity levels? What do we need to be doing for stress management? What do we need to be doing for time management, for any sort of meal prep, meal planning? We help you find that stuff because you already have a lot going on. Let's face it, if we're parents, we're typically somewhere fairly advanced in our careers. We can't sacrifice that. We can't sacrifice family time. And now you're left with feeling like this task of, I want to lose weight so that I can play with my kids better and not get exhausted. I want to get a little better so that I'm more confident whenever I take pictures, so that in 30 years, whenever we're going over these pictures, you know, and we're gray or bald in my case, you know, you had a smile on your face when that picture was taken. You weren't hiding behind your kids to hide your belly. So that's ultimately what we're after. And we're looking for somebody that hears all of this and it resonates and they go, man, that's where I'm at. I want to make this change. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to find the right system. I am sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. So, Tyler, let's kind of go over, you know, what exactly we mean whenever we say we're going to help you with a training program, whenever we say we're going to help you find the right approach to nutrition. So kind of give people an idea of what can they expect whenever they're applying for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it fairly well there. Again, when it comes to the training side of things, we're going to be looking at your schedule, your lifestyle, how much time you have.
I
Have
mean,
you
if
ever?
somebody works out in their home gym,
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a home gym? Do you have a commercial gym? Have you ever weight trained before? Have you weight trained for 5 years? What injuries do you have? We are going to be going through all of these factors, all of these variables to make sure that we're building a program together, right? I mean, obviously, I'm going to have that expertise. I'm going to be really overseeing it, but I am a big believer in incorporating my clients into the decision-making process of, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's why. What do you think? Do you have favorite exercises? Is there a certain body part that, hey, you know what? I'd really like some bigger glutes. All right, here's what we're going to do, and here's why, right? And so really making sure that not only are we building it for them, but also just imparting that knowledge, right? And making sure that they have the confidence to know why we're doing what we're doing and to have that autonomy to maybe help with some of that decision-making process, right? The nutrition side of things, again, it's going to be about how do we make this fit with your lifestyle? A lot of times I'll tell people, I'm like, hey, how we need to go about losing body fat, body recomposition, very black and white, right? Like from a biological, scientific perspective, it's very simple. It is very, very simple.
like
Eat
the
a
law of
calorie deficit.
thermodynamics doesn't suddenly stop applying.
Exactly, right? And so that's the easy part. But the hard part, kind of like you alluded to, is how do we fit this into the individual lifestyle, right? Whether you are a single parent with 3 kids, 2 are in sports, maybe one's a toddler still running around. How do we make that work? What does that actually look like? And so there is that element of trial and error and making sure that we're communicating on a weekly basis of going, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's our overall structure. Let's try this. And let's start to find what works and what doesn't work. I also tell people, life doesn't care that you want to look good. It's always going to be busy. And if anything, the perception of life and busyness becomes even busier once you start paying attention to your food intake and what you're consuming and how much you're consuming. Because all of a sudden you go, oh, wow, I eat out at a restaurant 3 times a week. I didn't even really think about it, right? Or, well, I didn't realize how many get-togethers I have every single week. It's a birthday this week, a date night that week, this, that, or I travel a lot for business. Okay, how do we plan around airports, night outs with clients? And so there's always going to be a lot of these individual factors that we're going to want to work through because, again, we understand how we need to get there in terms of, the scientific side of it. So now how do we marry these two together?
So whenever we talk about creating the right systems, a lot of times it just means creating the right patterns. So, Tyler is going to be able to help you out to understand all of this stuff. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you've never used a food scale, if you have never tracked a calorie in your life because hey, you were able to eat whatever you wanted to up until you had kids because you also had time for the gym. You just kind of ate, you trained, and now you're sitting with 2, 3 kids and you're wondering, oh my gosh, all I know is that everybody says not to eat carbs and it drives me nuts because I love pasta.
Yeah.
You're going to learn all about this stuff. You're going to learn about macronutrients. You're going to learn about flexible structure. So that's what I absolutely love is that flexible structure of the FitBod Blueprint. Whether it's the approach of your logging and tracking everything, or whether it's the approach of let's just get some better portion guidelines going. Tyler's going to figure out where are you at, where do you need to go, because ultimately you're going to learn all of this stuff, but he's going to meet you with where you're at. So that's the unique approach about this is Tyler's going to listen to everyone. So the process for registering for this giveaway, it's going to be pretty straightforward. You're going to pop over to Instagram. You're going to be following Tyler. That's Tyler _Weeb. And you're going to also follow FitBod Institute. On either profile will be a link for you to register for this. You're going to fill out the application, and then you're going to schedule your interview, because we want to make sure that the person that wins the full ride 6-month program, that there's somebody that truly deserves it and that they are all in on this, that they say, I need this change. I want this change. I absolutely have to have this change. There's going to be one lucky winner that receives this. Now, we also are going to be doing some partial giveaways as well, because everyone's got an amazing story. I very rarely find someone that just goes, oh, yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to look a little better, but if I don't, that's okay too. And I don't have any hardships in my life. Like,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met that person.
So Tyler's going to hear your story and get to know you and make sure that this is going to also ultimately be a really good fit for you. Because the last thing that we want to do is put somebody into this and they're not ready for it. Or they go, well, you can tell me whatever is going to work, but ultimately I'm just going to do my own thing. Because we want to make sure this is somebody that this is going to truly change your life, because we've seen this. I mean, our clients have lost thousands of pounds over the years. I mean, it's incredible to see people. Right, like if we tried to actually put a solid number on it, there's going to be a comma in there. Like
Yeah.
there's going to probably be at least 5 digits.
Yes.
So
Good. Yeah.
what we want to be thinking about here is the people that we've seen their lives change. We've seen all kinds of different walks of life. I mean, I know I've worked with people that have been well over 500 pounds. I've worked with, I remember one of my biggest humbling moments as a personal trainer was a free consult, like a free introductory session. And when I say the guy rolled in, I mean, he literally rolled in because he was a double amputee. Like, that's the great thing about all of what we've done, all of our experience is we've seen so many people from so many different walks of life, and we've seen how they've changed their lives through fitness. And whenever you become a healthier, stronger, more fit version of yourself, everywhere in your life improves. I've
Yeah.
yet to work with a parent that didn't say, man, I have better energy and I can ride the bike with my kids now and not get winded. Or, man, I was out practicing some blocking drills with my kid for football and I wasn't getting tired. And I had to kind of pull back a little bit because I about sent Junior flying 3 feet back.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see those changes, to see that metamorphosis in people.
Yeah. It is truly amazing how much someone getting their fitness into a better position just bleeds into other areas of your life, because it does, it does require hard work. Like, it really does. Like, it's not like we're not here saying, hey, you know what? This is going to be easy. Like, we're going to be able to give you the answers, but it's going to be hard, and there's going to be failures, and there's going to be times where it just feels like you're maybe not going anywhere. But that's kind of where, as you start to accomplish these things, the discipline, the structure, all of those just bleed into other areas of your life. And part of it too is, though, the benefits of getting this lifestyle in place, like you mentioned, just having more energy, feeling better, moving better, not as achy, right? Like, it takes almost an unconscionable burden off those shoulders, right? We may have mentioned this in another podcast previously, but kind of coming back to that more energy, I don't think people realize how tired they actually are, or how run down. Like, we just get so used to feeling certain ways that we just don't really understand how much better we could actually feel, right? So it really does just bleed into all of those other areas. And so I think that's where we really talk about changing lives and how cool that is. It's not necessarily the physique component as much as it is, but really, seeing people gain that confidence and having those check-ins with people of like, my energy is just so much better. My clothes are starting to fit better, even if I haven't lost a pound on the scale yet, right? Like, it's those types of things that are just, so cool to see and very rewarding.
Right. Like right now, I've got a client that's been working with me for about 8 weeks. And in 8 weeks, okay, the scale's only moved by about 2 pounds, but he's also dropped 3 inches off of his waist. And whenever you look at his photos, you're like, holy smokes, in 8 weeks, you are leaner and you're more muscular. But then here's the other things that have happened in 8 weeks. In 8 weeks, his confidence has skyrocketed to the point of on his check, and he said, Phil, I'm having a better relationship with my wife. I'm way more confident. We got in the hot tub and I didn't have a shirt on for the first time. Like, this is somebody I think about this. Even around your spouse, you're self-conscious to not take your shirt off just getting into a hot tub. And now here you are. You've lost inches, you've put some muscle on. Like, this guy's added almost 30 pounds to his bench press in just 8 weeks. But that confidence spills over, right? Because he was asked to lead a team meeting, and sure enough, he ended up with a promotion into a leadership role within his team. And his check-in this week, I mean, there are times that as a coach, it hits me hard emotionally whenever people say what their wins are. Yeah. And they give me even just the slightest bit of a thank you. And I'm like, I have such a small role.
Yeah, and thank you for doing the work. Like,
you're the one, though, that you're showing up. You're doing this. You're the one that is seeing the changes, and you're seeing that improvement in yourself, and you're following through, and you're putting that extra energy into everything else that you're doing. And it goes back to what you just said. It's the extra energy that comes from now you're moving. Now you're fueling your body appropriately. You're not eating like crap. Everywhere just got improved. Like, in 8 weeks, this guy's saying, man, my marriage is better. He's advanced in his career. He got a little pay bump. He got a nice bonus at the holiday time. It's incredible that whenever people start focusing on their wellness, they start focusing on their health, they start focusing on how they feel, that things just improve in all aspects of someone's life. So I'm really excited about you doing this giveaway, man. And, again, we're going to be picking one grand winner for 6 months of a scholarship with Tyler. And then we're also going to be picking some partial winners as well. So go ahead and go over to Tyler's Instagram, go to the FitBod Institute Instagram page as well, and make sure you're following both accounts. Go ahead and fill out your application, schedule your interview with Tyler. Tyler's going to be doing Zoom interviews. That way you're able to see, hey, this is a real person that I'm talking to. This is somebody that genuinely cares, and that they're hearing your problems. They're hearing your unique story. So I'm stoked on this one, man.
Good. I'm ready to go. I'm really excited.
Well, with that being said, we will go ahead and wrap this one up. Let me ask this for my random question of the week.
Okay.
Who is your all-time favorite superhero? And it can be from any background, like DC, Marvel, like cartoons.
I mean,
who you got?
So I mean, grew up obsessed with Smallville, so it's hard not to say Superman just because of that. I mean, that was appointment viewing, right? Back in the day for all you, I guess mid-30s, if you watched that, like that was so good. So I, kind of Superman there. But, if I were to go maybe in a different direction, let's see, Venom. I mean, I enjoyed the Tom Hardy movies, and I was never a big comic person back in the day, so I'm not super well versed in all of the characters, but I like the character Venom just in terms of the movies. How about you?
That is a really good pick, and I got to be honest, man. I actually really liked the second Venom movie. I know it got a lot of meh feedbacks, but overall,
better than any of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, it's been since what was it? Endgame 2 was the last really kind of good one, or
Iron Man 1.
So for me, All right, so I'm gonna cheat a little. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do my favorite superhero growing up, and I'm gonna do my favorite one currently. So my favorite superhero growing up, I'm just gonna give it to a group and call it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And
Nice.
what I love, somebody pointed this out. I think it was on Reddit, where if you look at what the weapons were that Master Splinter gave to each one of the Ninja Turtles, it was the yin to their yang. Like,
Okay.
okay,
I never watched him really, so this is new to me.
okay, so like Donatello, right? The
Yeah.
purple one,
Yep.
which by the way, they're all named after Renaissance painters.
Okay. Cool.
Michelangelo, Donatello,
Yep.
Raphael, Leonardo. So Donatello, he's the tech one. Like Donatello does machines. But what did Splinter give him? The most basic possible primitive weapon of a stick.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So then you've got Raphael, that he's like the aggressive, he's the rude, crude dude. He gave him the size, which are strictly a defensive weapon.
Okay.
So then you've got Michelangelo, the party dude, right? That he's just chasing a fun time, and he gets the nunchucks, which require the most concentration.
Okay.
Well, then you also have Leonardo, that he was given the katana, and he's the most level-headed. It's also the only purely offensive weapon, and it's the weight of what the sword could do.
Yeah.
So
Trust. Huh.
yeah, like
Cool.
that
I
hit me
like that.
that hit me hard.
Yeah.
But if you had to ask me absolutely today who my favorite superhero is, I think I gotta go and give it to the Punisher. He
Yeah.
has superpower is just he's pissed off and vengeful
Yes.
about losing his family.
Yes. And not the new movie, the one that came out in the 90s with whatever.
With Tom Jane. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That, yeah.
loved that movie.
Great movie. I sometimes have to like skip the opening beach scene though, because it's just too sad.
It's way too sad.
Yeah.
No,
But
then
yes, that is a really good one. I like that.
I liked the series that was on Netflix like
Mm,
years ago with John Bernthal from Walking
okay.
Dead.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh, dude, it was so good. Like whenever they canceled that, it broke my heart. But fingers crossed. Like I saw Disney's bringing back Daredevil, so I'm hoping that because it's in that same universe, that
They're
they're
gonna
gonna they're gonna do us a solid and bring back some Punisher. But all right, so with that being said, we're looking forward to finding our winner for this giveaway. Thank you all for listening. If anybody says, "Man, I really just need some help on my goals," reach out to us. Again, Tyler's on Instagram, Tyler double underscore Weeb, and I before E,
Yes.
and then Pirtle at Pirtle Coaching is me, and at FitBod Institute. So thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, we will catch you later. Bye.